You've always known you were meant for something different, something greater, something more. And for those of you who I am connecting with right now, I really get the sense that there is this emerging that is happening for you right now. While I was connecting with your energy, the image that came through was quite interesting. I saw this figure rising out from the water. It was like this very still, kind of misty lake, very foggy, mysterious feeling. And I think this is actually an image that came up pretty recently in another reading. I think it might have been for an Aquarius reading or maybe even another Pisces reading. For those of you who know, definitely feel free to comment down below. There might be some messages for you in that reading as well. But I really felt like this was you that was coming out of the water. Maybe for some of you, this is another person or a situation, something that's kind of coming out of nowhere or sort of coming up in the background. But I really actually feel like this is you, Pisces. And I did pull some very interesting animal cards, which really kind of confirmed a lot of the energy that I was getting for you. And we'll pull some tarot cards in just a moment. But before we dive into all of that, I just want to thank all of you who support this channel with your likes, shares, comments, and subscribes. As you can likely tell, I have rebranded. I am now going by Micah Serafi. My pronouns are they, he. And if you want to follow along, definitely be sure to hit that subscribe and bell notification so you can always stay up to date with what's in the cards for you. As always, there's links in the description of this video for personal readings and distance Reiki sessions, which you can book on my website. Now, the animal cards that I got for you, Pisces, were quite interesting. I do have the black egg and the cosmic egg. Both of these together tell me that something is indeed hatching or something has been incubating for some time. The cosmic egg actually represents the crown chakra. So this feels very tied to your spirituality, to faith. And maybe that is something that you need to foster more at this time, because I do feel like you're very intuitive, but sometimes there is this doubt. And I think for some of you, maybe you thought your life would be in a different place by now. Maybe you thought there would be a certain kind of purpose or relationship in your life. Whatever it is that you feel was meant for you, I think it still is. It's just the timing hasn't occurred in the path you thought it would, or kind of in the timeline that you thought it would. I do also have the black egg here as well. So I really do feel like many of you are meant to share your voice, maybe you're teachers or artists, creatives, writers, poets, because the black egg actually represents the throat chakra. Now, what's really interesting about the throat chakra is that it's not only about expression, it is quite literally the epicenter of our truth. And the throat chakra is also activated by silence, by listening. It's not always about speaking. And for those of you who have a voice to share, or a truth or wisdom to share, have you listened to your own inner voice? You need to hear yourself. You need to take yourself seriously and really receive what your truth is. That is something that's coming in quite purely for you. And it's actually funny because the throat chakra, Vishuddha, translates as especially pure. So there really is something here about you getting back in touch with your pure essence, with your purpose, with your soul, with your heart. And it does feel like there could be some really important messages or conversations or truths that are coming out at this time, again, especially with that emerging. And, you know, at the time of this recording, we are near the end of August, and we are getting into Virgo season. There's actually going to be a full moon lunar eclipse in your sign on September 7th, and if I'm not mistaken, this is actually going to be a total eclipse, so it's especially potent for you during this time. And whenever we have an eclipse, it does signify major shifts, and in this case, maybe an ending or shifting. You could be letting go of an old version of yourself or some identity or role that no longer feels authentic to you. And this really does feel quite tied to the throat chakra as well as the crown. So I'm very curious to hear how this is landing, what's already coming up for you. I am going to start pulling some tarot cards for you now. I'm going to start shuffling the deck. And as I do this, I really invite you to just take a moment, maybe even pause this video and just connect with your energy. Really feel in your body what is meant to be for you in terms of these messages, how it applies, and what should be left behind for somebody else. If this video doesn't resonate at all, it doesn't mean anything went wrong. It simply means that these messages weren't meant for you at this time. But do consider the possibility that maybe some of these messages are actually meant to be shared, and you are meant to be a vehicle. So regardless of zodiac sign, there might be something here that other people need to hear. So feel free to do that as well. What do we have so far? A lot of different cards. Okay. You know, I already like these cards, and it all feels tied to the past. I have the Two of Swords, the Seven of Cups, and the Star. The Star really does indicate this sort of guidance, this divine connection. I'm quite literally thinking of the North Star, or how we use stars to navigate. And it does indeed tell me there is something bigger for you. There is a direction, a calling. And with the Seven of Cups, there might be some confusion or doubt. Is this real? Is this my intuition? Is this wishful thinking? Is there fear involved? And the Two of Swords is kind of this stalemate or indecision or delay. And this is all the energy from the past, mind you. And I do feel like for some of you, maybe you've been afraid to really act on what speaks to you, what inspires you. I'm actually getting the sense that for many of you, you have achieved certain things. You've been recognized for certain things, but it feels empty. Maybe a little hollow. Because it wasn't aligned with who you really are. And maybe some of you were sort of bargaining. I'll do this thing once I've achieved X, Y, and Z first. And I think some of you have. Or maybe it just feels like you're almost on this hamster wheel. Because I feel like you're supposed to have faith. You're supposed to trust in what your intuition is telling you. What you are receiving from the universe in forms of synchronicities, intuition, however you're being communicated with. And it's important that you see those signs. And maybe for some of you, there's a very clear goal. And for others, it's more abstract. And that's okay. It feels like whatever steps you are taking towards this, it's just important that you are starting to move in the direction of what feels like purpose for you. Even if that means just taking a class right now. Even if that means exploring options right now with the Seven of Cups. Tell us more. What have we gained from the past? I'm also getting this message that some of you have been delaying or procrastinating because on some level, you're afraid of failure. And especially the failure of something that's important to you, or the perceived failure, I should say. There's this fear of being vulnerable. And maybe some of you haven't even told other people what it is that you desire. And this could also come in the context of relationships too. This could apply to different areas of your life. Maybe some of you have been afraid to say your heart's desires. Maybe some of you have a hard time expressing your needs. Maybe you want something different than the relationships you have or the relationships you've had. But there's part of you that feels too vulnerable to say it or speak it out loud. And if this is you, I definitely encourage you to say it in the comment section down below. Start practicing speaking your truth. We do have the Ace of Pentacles. It does feel like there is this new beginning. And I feel like many of you have achieved some level of stability. And this is kind of that success piece that I was picking up a moment ago. Like I feel like on the outside, people might actually look at your life and see a success story or recognize your achievements. But again, it feels kind of empty to me. And it feels like with this Ace of Pentacles, there is this idea that feels very fertile to me. Maybe some of you have already begun this project or this path that you are meant to walk on. What else do we have for you, Pisces? What else? We have the Hermit. Interesting. Don't be afraid to be alone. Don't be afraid to stand on your own. I'm not getting the Hermit in the sense of isolation, actually. I'm getting the Hermit in the sense of being okay with being that person that people don't understand. It is also Virgo energy, and again, at least at the time of this recording, it is a timeless reading though, so maybe this will apply to the next Virgo season. But we are about to enter into Virgo season. We actually have 2 Virgo new moons. Interestingly, this sometimes corresponds to relationships for you or commitments, partnerships. And that could be of any variety. But I actually feel like, honestly, Pisces, this is more about you really stepping into yourself, owning your truth. If you want to be heard, you have to listen to yourself first. Where is this going? Where is this going for Pisces? We do have the Death card. So there definitely is a change that needs to happen in order for you to move forward. And you know, I see this in a couple of ways actually, because I do think, again, some of you are shedding old versions of yourself, old chapters or relationships that really just aren't serving you anymore or don't feel fulfilling for you anymore. Something needs to change. And I feel like, honestly, you've sort of known this for a while, and maybe you've even convinced yourself, no, I'm happy. I'm happy at this job. I'm happy with this person. But it feels like there is some kind of recognition right now, some sort of inner truth or guidance or knowing that you need to let this go. On the energetic level, it almost feels like an anchor. Maybe there are people around you who don't understand you, or maybe just don't want more out of life. And I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with that. I don't think that everyone is meant to fulfill some big purpose or destiny, at least the way that we as a society would label that, right? Like, someone's purpose might be living a simple life, loving their family, and that's the thing that feels fulfilling to them. But I feel like there is something off the beaten path here for you, Pisces. There is this bigger vision that you have. And I get the sense that for some reason, on some level, you're not allowing yourself to pursue that based on the relationships you're in or the situation you're in, because maybe it means losing that person, or they don't understand you. Don't be afraid to stand on your own. I really feel like I need to tell you that. And honestly, I feel like you are approaching relationships very differently, and that might be what these 2 Virgo new moons at the time of this recording are going to be about for you, especially since the new moon on the 21st will be a solar eclipse. And eclipses can be a little disruptive. They can bring up some shadow, and they are often a time of cleansing, of purging. I feel like you are becoming the person you were meant to be. What else do we have for Pisces? Where is this all leading? Where is this leading? We have the Magician. Yeah, you are feeling more alive because you are connecting with your true desires, the things that inspire you. I feel like you are manifesting things for the future. And part of this manifestation process might be letting go of old things, situations, connections. But that's part of the process That's part of the shift you are trying to make in your life. And it's important that you trust that you feel that. Your life isn't ending. This isn't an ending, Pisces. Your life is beginning. There's something new here, something very powerful. And I feel like it comes from your relationship with yourself and with your spirit. And I really do feel like you are manifesting a more fulfilling life for you. And I do feel like this is tied to spirituality or some form of expression. And no matter how you express this, Pisces, your energy has a sort of signature. This is something I'm getting right now. There is something about your energy, your light, that is healing to people. And it doesn't even really matter what you do so much. As much as it is that you're just sharing yourself, sharing your gifts, which is in part your energy. It's infused with everything that you do. It is your special touch. That is the thing that makes you different. That is the thing that makes you unique. That is the thing that is going to make you successful. Are there any other messages for Pisces at this time? Beautiful. We do have the Four of Wands at the bottom of the deck. This is about success, recognition. You will be successful when you follow your passion. This is beautiful. I feel like a lot of you are going to the next level. You are leveling up with this Four of Wands. It's almost like a graduation. Maybe some of you are taking a class, you're getting some kind of certification, you're learning some sort of skill, and there is some sort of ceremony. I really just get celebration. So whatever it is that you're losing right now, Pisces, I almost feel like there's this gratitude for it. I'm actually hearing the expression right now for you, Pisces. Thank God I didn't get the things I thought I wanted. And this feels like something you are saying in the future. So for some of you, maybe it feels like you need to let something go because it feels like a dead end. Or maybe there is even a situation that's just ending in your life. Again, this could apply in many different ways. I don't want this to freak anybody out. You'll kind of just know. Yeah, this Four of Wands. I really see a portal here. A doorway is opening up. There is this alignment, this synchronicity. There are new doors that are opening for you right now, Pisces. And the thing I'm also getting with this Death card, once you start changing, evolving, you're not going to be able to go back. Not fully. There is something about you that is changing, that feels almost permanent, or it's like you are changed forever. You are being forever changed. And you are finding a spark in you, a passion in you, a discipline in you, a love in you, whatever this is. You are finding new limits or breaking what you thought were limitations for you. You are surprising yourself, Pisces. Yeah, you're surprising yourself. That is the message that I am getting a resonance with. And I'm feeling this sense of completion. I feel like these are all the messages for you at this time, Pisces. I do hope that this was helpful, that this gave you some things to think about, that this inspired you. Definitely be sure to hit like and subscribe if you've made it all the way to the end here. Comment down below, what is this purpose? What is this truth? Even drop like an egg emoji. What is something that is incubating, hatching? The time is now. So really claim this energy for yourself. And again, I do have links in the description of this video for all of my services and social media accounts. And I will see you in the next video. Take care, Pisces.